Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, Brandon Aiyuk, is he going to get traded? I'm here to tell you this. Based on everything I've heard and based on all the smoke going on around the NFL, Aiyuk's getting traded today. Zamir White, is he going to be the workhorse for the Silver and Black? Find out what Vic Tafur had to say. And then also report out that Raider Nation needs to pump the brakes on the Dylan Laube hype. We're going to discuss all this coming up here on today's show. For those of you that don't know, when I say, hey, every super chat we get, every Venmo we get goes back to the nation, you see these new graphics? We just upgraded, and that's a big shout out to all of y'all. Is Brandon Aiyuk going to get traded to the Raiders? Mitch, this is the Raiders Report. Why are we talking about Brandon Aiyuk? Why? Because we also like to talk about the NFL. Last time I checked, that's kind of what this show is about. Here's the thing. No, he's not going to get traded. This one's zero just win, babies. Some of y'all want to say fake news. I'm going to say tuck rule, tuck that. It's not going to happen. But where there is smoke, there is fire. And there is so much smoke going on right now. And it's been like, when you look at earlier in the week, Pretty Ricky, he had a tweet that said there's going to be a monumental trade that ends up going down this week, okay? Then he ended up DMing a few guys from us from Chat Sports and called it was like a generational trade. It was like, he used a word where you're like, blockbuster trade, it's going to go down. Colin Cowherd, keep your eyes out for Brandon Aiyuk news. Then you see Adam Schefter tweet out that the 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk aren't even close to a contract deal. My point is, rumors are important in the NFL because when you follow them, you can connect the dots, and I like being a little bit of a Sherlock Holmes. So be honest with me. Is Brandon Aiyuk going to get traded? Type Y for yes, type N for no. To the over 700 people that are watching our live show right now, 60% of them are saying yes, 40% of them are saying no. My answer on is Brandon Aiyuk going to get traded? He is going to get traded. And quite frankly, I think it's going to happen today. I'm actually curious to see if it happens while I am live here on the Raiders Report. And if it does, guess what? We're going to talk about it here on the show because there's been so much smoke around this happening. And what's really interesting was yesterday, Brandon Aiyuk was seen dapping up, shaking hands, and was happy with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. And then the report with Rappaport of them not really being all that close. To me, I think he either goes to the Washington Commanders. Cowherd is very, very well connected with the Washington Commanders. Remember, he was one of those guys behind me on the news around, what's his name, the old OC that decided not to, Cliff Kingsbury, F that guy. Couldn't even think of his name. But he's very well connected with Washington. Also Pittsburgh. I mean, Brandon Aiyuk the other day tweeted it was something like, or posted on his IG, here we go. Like the Mike Tomlin tweet, I think it's between the Steelers and the Washington Commanders, but I do think that Brandon Aiyuk ends up getting traded. At least that's what we've been told at Chat Sports. We were told that it's going to happen today. Some other NFL news that impacts the Raiders. According to Adam Schefter, Chargers announced Justin Herbert was diagnosed with an injury to the plantar fascia in his right foot. Per the team, doctors have recommended approximately 2 weeks in a boot, followed by a graduated return to play protocol, with the expectation that he will be ready to start the regular season. I know that it's the expectation that he's going to be ready to start, but you know what? They're not going to rush him back, and if I'm Jim Harbaugh, I don't want them to rush him back either. And you're 38 days away from the Raiders taking down the Los Angeles Chargers. The reason why this is a really, really big injury for Los Angeles, think about all the new wide receivers they have. They got a brand new head coach as well. They got a brand new OC as well. Like, they have so many new things as well. And the fact that their quarterback talent, because after Herbert, it is bad. Like, it's like Easton Stick. It's a bunch of other no-name guys. They sound like they should be working at State Farm. Bottom line is, you don't have your main quarterback. That hurts that entire offense. I think this gives the Raiders a little bit of a competitive advantage, but at least just something to monitor, and I'll do my best to keep you guys up to date here on this show. If you didn't know the NFL rumors around Brandon Aiyuk, if you didn't know the NFL news around Justin Herbert, and if you don't know that we do Raiders videos every single day here, make sure you're subscribed. Help grow this family. I want to get to 171,000 subs by the time that we take on the Minnesota Vikings August 10th, because their Vikings host, talking a little crap, man. Let's go to the next story. Coming up here on the show, Zamir White will be a workhorse for the Las Vegas Raiders this upcoming season. I'm going to give this one 2 just win babies, and that means that it's a 50% chance of happening. For a lot of our new viewers, I'm going to do a lot of just win babies during the regular season. It's kind of like my rumor meter of 0 just win babies, not going to happen. Tuck rule, fake news, tuck that. 1 just win baby, 25%. 250, 375, 4. It's a guaranteed that it's going to end up happening. Now, according to Vic Tafur, Tafur believes that White will be the Raiders' workhorse running back this year. One of the quotes that Tafur said in an article that he released, it said, White will likely more than double last season's 104 carries. Zeus put on 6 pounds of muscle, and if you haven't seen just how freaking jacked Zamir is, like, I go to the gym, and I think, like, I do okay. My legs look like Zamir White's arms, and the fact that he only put on 6 pounds of muscle, Zamir White makes me feel very insecure, man. But, like, that's a good thing. Like, you need to be able to put on that extra weight to be able to handle the big-time workload that Zamir could potentially get this season. And I saw this quote from White. It was a little bit earlier on in the week, and he said, I wake up, go for a jog, feed the horses, lift weights, ride about 5 horses, eat, rest, feed the horses again, run and do my field work, and then feed the horses again. Well, you know what? If you look like this, Antonio Pierce might be feeding this workhorse, but I have also grown up with these two things, and my dad used to always tell me this, right? Growing up, every kid thinks that they're the fastest or the strongest or the toughest. Well, growing up, my dad used to always tell me there's 2 people you don't want to fight, wrestlers and farmers. Football players, you might be able to put in that one as well, and especially when they look like that. I can't wait to see what Zamir White ends up doing, but the reason why I'm only going to give this to Just Win Babies in terms of being a workhorse is because Tom Telesco has said multiple times that he expects this team to go with a running back by committee. Raiders running back coach Carnell Cadillac Williams has said, or not said, but he back at Auburn ran with a running back by committee. Antonio Pierce has kind of pointed out, running back by committee. But like when I heard what Tafur said, and, you know, a lot of times, like, the terms that people use is bell cow, workhorse. If he were to double his carries, 104, and then he's at 208 carries, like, when I think of a workhorse running back, I don't really think of 208 carries. Like, that's not a workhorse back to me. A workhorse back to me is like, you better be flirting with 280, 290, 300. Like, those are the type of numbers that you're putting up to be a workhorse. So, like, when I saw Tafur say that Zamir White's going to be a workhorse, I was intrigued because that's not what the expectation is. And based on the numbers that Tafur's projecting, he's not projecting him to be a workhorse. I think he's literally just saying that he's a workhorse because he works on a farm and he works with horses. That's my take on that. But you know what? I got to know from the nation, how many carries will Zamir White have this upcoming season? I'm honestly genuinely curious what you guys have to say. And you know what? I'm going to give you my answer on how many carries I think Zamir is going to have, and I got some really cool stats to be able to back up those answers. Before I get into that, though, shout out to our sponsor, Rocket Money. I've been trying to save money on my wedding. How many guys out there? Is your daughter expensive? Are your kids expensive? Is your wife expensive? Are you paying for shit that you can't believe you're paying for? Yeah, me too, man. Shout out to Rocket Money. I'm here to help you guys save a little bit of money because Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. Stop wasting money on things that you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/LVRaiders. That's rocketmoney.com/LVRaiders. With Rocket Money, I have full control over my subscriptions and a clear view of my expenses. I can see all of my subscriptions in one place, and if I see something I don't want, Rocket Money can help me cancel it with just a few taps. So nation, go to rocketmoney.com/LVRaiders. Go to rocketmoney.com/LVRaiders. Shout out to them. With Rocket Money, I can save a lot of money for y'all. I've been trying to save money on a wedding, vacation, bachelor trip. You guys know it. And you can also check your credit score. So again, special shout out to Rocket Money, and if you want to be able to save, rocketmoney.com/LVRaiders. That link's going to be available to y'all down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. So how many carries will Zamir White have this season? I'm going to go, and this is going to be a number that I've honestly flirted with a few different times, and the number that I'm going to go with is I have him somewhere around 237 carries. So I actually don't think that Zamir is going to be the workhorse that a lot of people out there think that he's going to be. But, I'm also projecting 237 carries because it's not so much that I believe in Zamir White. It's I have so much faith in the Raiders defense, and I'm somebody that believes that this team is going to be a 9-10 win team. And if you believe that they have a great defense, and if you believe that they're going to go with a very physical type of offense, Like, aren't you going to rely on Zamir White to take pressure off of whoever the starting quarterback is? Aren't you going to run the football if you're controlling games at the end because of that defense? Like, you're going to try to keep that offense off the field, and Zamir White's going to be a big part of that. So is Alexander Madison. So is a player like Dylan Laube. But I have him down for 237 carries this upcoming season. Now, if you project Zeus's numbers based off of what Luke Getsy has done the last 5 years that he's been in an offense. Now, I know he hasn't been an OC for 5 years, but look at what he did with the Green Bay Packers when he was at least a part of that offense. And then look what he was doing with the Chicago Bears at OC. If you take the starting running back, okay, the best running back on those teams for 5 years, it comes out to an average of 191 carries. Zeus averaged 4.3 yards per carry last season, and I have him somewhere around 8 touchdowns based on the Luke Getsy projections. Again, I'm saying that I think he's going to get 237. Based on Luke Getsy previous performances and what he's done with running backs and running back by committees, it comes somewhere around 191. If you told me right now Zeus ends the season between 237 carries and 191, I would say I'd buy into that every single day. Bottom line, though, I believe in this defense. I believe in us being a powerful football team, and I do think Zeus is going to get quite a bit of work. That's why he's bulking up. Coming up, though, should we be pumping the brakes on the hype train around Dylan Laube? I mean, I put out a video earlier today, the top winners from training camp. Laube's got to be one of the biggest names out there. I mean, he's getting, dude, the amount of people that are asking questions about Dylan Laube, it is an unbelievable thing, and I'm super happy for Laube. I'm super happy for his family. He was the only running back drafted out of his conference from a small school, and if he gets an opportunity to go out there and shine, dude, that inspires every single person out there. If you're somebody young and you're playing football and nobody thinks that you have a shot in hell to make the NFL, prove them wrong. Justin Jefferson was a one-star recruit. There was a lot of players out there that nobody ever thought. Keep working your hardest. Max Crosby, another perfect example. Sometimes people are late bloomers. Quite frankly, I'm still waiting for my growth spurt. Let's go to the next and final story here around Laube, and it's going to be in regards to, should we slow down the hype train? I'm going to give this one just win, baby, and I'm going to say, like, there's only 25% chance in my mind that we should slow this down. And according to Vic Tafur, okay, this is what Tafur has to say. And if anybody sees any bots in our live chat, type B to get rid of them. It helps us out. Tafur believes that Ameer Abdullah is still above Dylan Laube in terms of the depth chart. This is what Tafur said. They're giving Laube a lot of looks because they know what Abdullah can do, in my opinion. Tafur also did an article this offseason about Laube potentially not making the roster. Now, I'm not trying to poke at Vic. I'm not trying to do anything of that caliber. What I'm simply trying to do is bring light to somebody who is at Raiders practice. Vic Tafur is physically there in person. He has the ability to be able to interview players. He has the ability to interview coaches. And Tafur, when he did a 53-man roster projection, he did it based on, like, Laube potentially not making the roster. And now he's telling you again that they're giving Laube a lot of looks because they know what Abdullah can do, in his opinion. Quite frankly, I think Tafur's wrong here. And, you know, there's going to be hits and misses. I've missed. I know I've hit on some stuff. I know he's had some hit and misses as well, Tafur. But, like, is it just me, or do you believe in this? I don't really know if I believe it. I want to believe in the Laube hype because I updated some Raiders graphics that we have. Obviously, you guys can see that. And I have Dylan Laube over Ameer Abdullah. And I also look at it as, sure, the Raiders know what they have in Abdullah, but, like, don't we all know what Ameer Abdullah is at this point? And it's not a disrespect to him, but Laube, from what he's done, from what he has shown, don't you have to just say, like, all right, Vic, no disrespect to you, brother. I just think that you're wrong. So who do you think is going to make the bigger impact? You're going to go with Vic Tafur? Because Tafur's saying it's going to be Ameer Abdullah. I'm going to go with Dylan Laube, man. I really believe in the hype from this kid. I'm somebody when I save notes, and I save notes based on things from previous years. And I can remember all the notes that we got on Crosby where it was like, this guy just looks different. Then you get some notes on Waller. I know Waller didn't pan out the right way, but there was notes on this guy, and people were like, who is this Waller guy? He was different. A lot of stuff around Laube just being different. I'm buying into it, and I also just don't think that Antonio Pierce is the type of coach that's just giving Laube these opportunities just to see what he could do. I think it's a smart thing to do, but it's not something you just give to somebody. Antonio Pierce doesn't seem like the guy that he's just given things to. Maybe that's what Vic thinks of AP. That's not what I think of AP. I think that he believes that Dylan Laube has gone out there, he's shown it, he's earned it, and that's why he's getting those reps. But hey, only time will tell. Before I get out of here, though, Hall of Fame game tonight. Low-scoring game, over-unders 30.5. in Canton, Ohio. We're going to be rocking with Andre Johnson, Devin Hester. Those are going to be two players that get, a little bit of love. Houston is the favorite. And for those that do not know, Jeremy Chuggs is going to be live on our Texans show here at Chat Sports, live for the game. So if you want to hang out with Chuggs, you can do it there. We also are going to be live for our Bears show as well here at Chat Sports. If you want to watch that, you can type in Texans Chat Sports, Bears Chat Sports on YouTube, and hang out with both of our channels. Believe it or not, all that kind of stuff, it does help us out. And I go in there, I look. Lord Buddy Bear is a member of the Silver and Black Hills. You know why? Because he is a part of, I'm not kidding you, 15 to 16 different Hall of Fame groups here at Chat Sports. That is what a real one is. Now, I do got one more thing that I got to say before I get out of here. Now, Nathan Wolf was asking me, hey, Mitch, how do we get a part of this party you guys got going on? Jeremy Chuggs and I are going to be in North Carolina for week 1. We're going to be doing a watch party right around Raleigh, North Carolina. And if you want to come, it's free to join. We're going to have a lot of tickets, tons and tons of giveaways. I know last year they gave away a signed Bo Jackson helmet. They were giving away signed Josh Jacobs stuff. These guys go all out. And it's, you get a free raffle ticket. You get free to show up. It's a really, really good time. If anybody wants to also party with Chuggs and I Saturday before Sunday, then you can also party with us at chatsports.com/Topgolf. We're going to go to the Topgolf in Raleigh. I am horrendous at golf, but you know what? I can throw a few drinks down, and I plan on doing so, and I plan on trying to hit a golf ball so far that I blow my back out. So if you want to hang out with Chuggs and I, September 7th and September 8th, chatsports.com/Topgolf, chatsports.com/Week1. All the links that I talked about here on today's show are down in the comments, down in the description on the Raiders Report.